So, let's have a review here. So, when we have a cube plus b cube, it will be. So, you're gonna find the roots of these terms. So, or cube root, I mean. So, after you cube root them, put it, put them on here. So, the cube root, so the cube root of a cube is a. So the 3's and will cancel. The cube root of b cube is simply b. So since this is addition here, we'll also add addition here. So we're gonna set up another parentheses for the trinomial. So the first term, you're gonna square it. So a times a is a squared. For the second term, you're gonna multiply the first and the last terms. So a times b is ab. Now for the third term, we're gonna square this or the last term. So b times b is b squared. So for the sign or operation in this part, it will always be plus. And for this part, it will be the reciprocal or the inverse. So plus will become minus. So this is the factor for that. Now let's say if we have a minus sign. So a cube minus b cube. So set up a parentheses for the binomial, then find the roots or the cube roots. So cube root of a cube is a. And just like this, it will also be b. So what sign are you gonna use? What do you think? So it will become minus since this is the difference of two cubes. Now let's set up a parenthesis for the trinomial. So square the first term, so that will be a squared. Multiply the first and the last two terms, so it will be ab. So it's literally just the same like I did on the first example. Always remember that this part will always be a plus, and for this part it will be the inverse of this sign. So the inverse of subtraction is addition. So this is the factor for this example. Now let's say if we have x cubed minus 8. So how are we gonna factor this? So it's simple, like what we did earlier. So set up a binomial. Since it is minus, this will be minus. So the cube root of x cubed is x. And the cube root of 8 is 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 2 again is 8. Now set up another parenthesis for the binomial. When we square x, it will be x squared. Multiply both terms, it will be 2x. And the square of 2 is 4. Since 2 times 2 is 4. So what sign are we gonna use? Keep in mind that this will be always positive, and the inverse of this minus is the plus. Now let's have another example. Let's say if we have x cubed minus 27. You can try it if you want. So set up a parenthesis for the binomial. Square root of x cubed is x. Or the cube root rather. The cube root of 27 is 3. Because 3 times 3 is 9, and times another 3 is 27. So minus sign. Then set up another parenthesis for the trinomial. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus sign will be positive, and this will also be positive. Now let's say if we have y cubed plus 64. You can try it if you want. So find the roots of the terms. The cube root of y cubed is y. The cube root of 64 is 4. Since 4 is 4, 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. So plus will be the sign here since this is a sum of two squares. Now find the squares of y, which is y squared. Multiply the about two terms, so 4y, because y times 4 will be 4y, and square the last term, which is 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. So what sign are we gonna use? It will be positive here. It will always be positive, and negative here, since the addition is the inverse of subtraction. Now let's say if we have 8x cubed minus 1. How are we going to solve this? So you can try it if you want. So let's find first the cube root of 8x cubed. So cube root of 8 is 2. Cube root of x to the 3 is just x. So this will be x here. Minus 1. So find the cube root of 1. So the cube root of 1 is 1, since 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So what sign are you going to use here? It will be minus, since it is the difference of two cubes. So 2x squared is 4x squared. 2 times 2 is x, and x times x is x squared. So multiply both of these terms. 2x times 1 is 2x. Now 1 times 1 is 1. So as you can see, this is the answer. So find the operation. So this will be always positive or plus, and this will be the inverse, so plus again. And now this is the answer of your final for the expression 8x cubed minus 1.